Hello! And welcome to episode 37 of Modern Media Review, the podcast that likes to bow and scrape, but only to you, the listeners. I'm Robin Gibson.
And I'm Sean Gollogly.
And Sean, you're very adamant about what we absolutely have to talk about this week, but before you do, I'd like to say to the listeners, don't forget, subscribe, listen on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, Google. We're on all the platforms, all the good ones. And visit the website at modernmediareview.com.
Well, Robin, I'm quite shocked and stunned that you're PRing when we're in a royal crisis. We're a week after UDI, yeah?
It's not as good as the original Declaration of Independence. Still the best, I think.
Well, what we're talking about is a universal Declaration of Independence. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, yeah? Now, that was attributed to America when they first set up, and I guess it applies to Meghan and Harry, and I'm still shocked and outraged that a week into this crisis, and I think crisis probably isn't a strong enough word for it, Robin, we've only got 17 individual stories on the Daily Mail talking about it.
Only 17?
Absolutely, which is not enough. I was hoping for at least 150, which I think roughly equates to what Harry is in line to the throne.
No, he's 6. I think it's Archie who's 150th. You don't really follow the royal family, do you, Sean?
No, I don't support them wholeheartedly, but it's my deference that lets them carry on.
Well, it does raise an interesting point, because I've been watching all this, and I don't want to go into all the arguments about, the sort of serious arguments about whether everywhere in Britain's sort of mildly racist and...
What?
All this stuff they've been talking about in the media, the serious stuff about why Meghan Markle has become the sort of subject of a campaign of hate. Just the whole thing bugs me, because in what other country would anyone be having this crisis? It's ludicrous, isn't it? You can sum this up by what I heard on the radio the other day, who was a former royal butler, who's no longer a butler.
Yeah, I did also listen to this.
Well, he's no longer a butler to royalty. He goes around coaching people around the world on how to bow and curtsy to the royals. They must be laughing at him behind his back. People in Australia, when he turns up and says how low you have to bend when these people visit you. And then when he was asked for one key bit of advice, this is it. He said, don't offer your hand first for the handshake if you meet royalties. It's a cardinal rule. I'm going like, well, he didn't say what would happen if you did offer. What are they going to do? Run you over in an SUV? It's like... I think offering your hand first shows a bit of drive and entrepreneurship, which we like. They should be taking you onto the team for handshake, and you could go to the engagements. Just draw us a normal wage, minimum wage, Well, they slim down the sovereign grant. And who's going to know the difference between you and Prince Bobby or some of these other minor royals that we researched when we did it last time?
Perhaps, post-Brexit, this could be a way for all of us to make a lot of money through sort of...
No, that's what the royal butler's doing, mate.
Oh, then he's beating us to the punch, isn't he? And we can't do that.
Yeah. Anyway, on to Harry and Meghan, which I noticed was H&M. suitable initials for the sort of low-budget royal fashion we're getting from this pair. They've been pilloried by the media. Today, right, in the Mail, online, they've got this really nasty, they've got, if you're worried about it, of course, they've got this Cheers for Kate headline, and then it sort of says Kate gets back to work with gusto, apparently by shaking people's hands and being cheered at. And there's a sort of implied sub-headline there, isn't it? As Harry and Meghan shaft us all.
Well, it's very difficult. A bit unfair, really, the way it's been taken in the press.
I can't believe the sheer anger of some people. Like, I was reading a column by Carol Malone, who I presume is fairly typical of these, Glenda Slag type columnists, and it's just sheer hatred from beginning to end, and saying the pair of them are liggers, freeloaders who want the best in life but can only have them by taking favours from their super rich cronies, and calling her a 2-bit washed up actress, and they don't have the guts to relate. Where do these people get off?
Worse than that, they'd be saying that, but at any chance or opportunity, any journalist I've ever known, and we are Modern Media Review, any journalist I've ever known has looked to lig as much as they can get.
Well, I know, it's pathetic. I mean, she's actually saying, I told you this loads of times. She probably told you the opposite at some point in the recent past as well. And then you get people, I heard Emily Thornberry on the other day saying, is
she get involved in this?
She was going on some phone-in or panel thing. She was saying, they're only young people. I mean, he's 35.
Isn't she 39?
I don't know, but that's middle-aged. That was middle-aged in my day. Someone who was in their mid to late 30s was an old git when I was a teenager.
Well, Robin, I think it's changed now, hasn't it? I think that isn't 89 the new 21? Well,
to say the young people are still struggling to find their purpose is a bit rubbish, isn't it?
Well, I think any 89-year-old out on a big night out, having done a load of E's and lager, can safely wet themselves and say, I'm just like a young person.
The thing is, that's not the point. The point
I know it's not the point.
The point is that you put a horrible picture in mind of Emily Thornberry lagered up and taking a load of E's.
How young is Emily Thornberry, by the way?
I don't know. Let's get off Emily Thornberry.
Okay.
Don't we were
Yeah, no. Yeah,
I just think it's a bit daft coming out and saying, they still need to... They've got a purpose in life, haven't they? To serve us. That's a purpose.
Well,
they're just trying to rejig it so that they can kind of get the best of both worlds.
Okay.
Anyway... Back to the media. I'm up in Scotland at the moment, and the day this all blew up, I had a good look at the Glasgow Herald, which is a big paper up here. It wasn't even on the front page. It's like when the Independent tried to ignore the royal family.
But you can't ignore what the people want to hear, Robin.
Well, when the Indie started up, do you remember this in the 80s? They had...
yeah, I did, yeah.
They didn't have... in the Queen, when it was the Queen's birthday, they just put it in the notable birthdays list.
Which was entertaining, but slightly stupid.
But I did find a great poignant piece in the Sunday Post, which is a sort of weird Scottish newspaper published with D.C. Thompson, full of sort of feel-good stories but only about the right sort of unfortunate people, like unfortunate princes and princesses, I suppose. And none of your drug addicts. It's always got to be church approved, you know. Okay. And this guy, Hugo Vickers, who's a sort of said he's a royal biographer. I've never heard of him.
Me neither.
He's got this little poignant line about... Basically what he's saying is that the minor royals, you know, have given their lives to helping the Queen while they've still slipped down the royal line of succession. He just comes up with this great line. The Duke of Kent used to undertake independence ceremonies in Commonwealth countries. Now he shops alone, unrecognised, in Kensington High Street. They have all worked within the system. It's sad. The Prince Harry and Meghan feel they cannot do the same, but I've got one word to say about that. Avocados, mate.
Okay.
These people, as I said, by avocados have been driven out of the country. Yeah, I'm not going to go through all this because it's been all over the place, but this whole thing about the avocados...
What, driven out of the country by avocados?
Not literally, but,
okay.
You know, the whole thing about the avocados, you know that, right?
You did say that avocados were going to play a role in the podcast tonight.
No, well, you must have seen this on social media.
No.
Lots of people have done these contrasting treatments that tabloids have been giving Kate Middleton and Meghan Markle.
Yeah.
When it was the avocado thing, it was Kate's morning sickness cure, Prince William gifted with an avocado. So the avocado was a great morning sickness cure for the pregnant.
Well done, William. Well done, William.
Well, someone gave it to him. He didn't have the gumption to do it himself. And we probably wouldn't know that avocado's a great morning sickness cure. We'll get onto that stuff later. Meghan Markle, who also like avocados apparently, is headlined
Nasty piece of work, that Meghan Markle.
Meghan Markle's beloved avocado linked to human rights abuse and drought. Now, this goes on and on and on. Now, I'm not taking sides because I couldn't care. I hate the lot of them, right? But it's quite clear that when they do similar things, Kate gets a big kiss and Meghan gets the boot in the posterior, to put it mildly.
Yeah, Robin, but the point is... Now, I'd hate to be a cynic, but haven't Harry and Meghan, and see the way that I put Harry first there?
Yeah, that everyone else does.
Doesn't everyone say Meghan and Harry?
Now, look up the headlines, mate. They all say Harry and Meghan. He's the heir to the throne. 6 in line.
But there were some bad headlines for the royal family in recent months, would you not say?
Yeah, they haven't been doing so good.
No, it didn't look fantastic. And I'm just wondering if Harry... took one for the firm. I think Charles might have gone down, you know, how far do you go down when you don't really count? Harry's pretty much getting down to where you don't count as a member of the royal family. They've been having some bad headlines with Andy. Harry goes, look, I'm nowhere now in the succession. And,
Well, was he ever?
well, yeah, he used to be number 2.
How?
Well, he was the second son. He was the spare.
Who's butted in?
All the other ones, William's kids.
Well, I've got it up here now. It goes to the Queen, Charles, William, George. Oh yeah, Charlotte and Louis.
Yeah, exactly. All those. Who is Louis?
He's their third kid.
Is he a boy or a girl?
A boy.
Okay. Well,
I think they call him Louis.
well, I'm gender non-specific, so
You personally?
no for names. Yeah, I could be gender non-specific. I don't know. Non-binary and all the rest.
You could be tomorrow. You don't know what's going to happen when you wake up in the morning.
You don't, and I don't know what Harry did. I think what Harry did was, I think he took one for the firm and said, Andy, me Uncle Andy has been getting really shitty headlines, and I'll take one, but blame it on me missus.
That's a very sophisticated argument we've got there, because they're actually doing what they want, aren't they? They're not really taking a big hit. They've already done all the trademarks for the sneakers and stuff.
Yeah, which you say, I'm not sure about.
Well, the point is, they're getting out, aren't they? But they're getting out with all the good bits attached.
Robin, why do you always have to be glass half empty?
I'm not.
Why can't you just say Harry and Meghan are wonderful and they just want to step back a little bit but make you pay for it?
Well, I could say that, yeah, if I was sympathetic to them.
Okay, what's the upside of Harry and Meghan leaving the firm?
Oh, I thought they could develop a new range of spreadable foods.
What?
People who've forgotten how to use their knife and fork.
What? Are you saying that they can't use individual...
Something they could apply their expertise to, or their anti-expertise. Well, I always wonder about these people. I mean, doesn't the Queen get her sausages chopped up?
I don't know.
I can't imagine them getting up and making a cup of tea. They could get... Not that you could have spreadable tea, actually. It's already pourable, but... You know, like develop the whole idea of spreadable cheese into all food stuff so that you don't have to do anything.
Okay.
Sussex Royal Spreadable Foods. Sussex Royal Spreadable Gourmet Kitchen.
Okay, well, I was laughing, but now I've taken it back because haven't we got the Duchy of Cornwall or whatever it is?
That's peanuts. These people are Hollywood. They could do better than Paul Newman, mate.
Paul Newman was a fantastic brand, without doubt.
It's still going. In fact, on the Tesco website, it still says he mixes his own secret ingredients of herbs and spices.
But he's dead, isn't he?
Exactly, but he's still at it from the afterlife.
From the grave.
Yeah. Spreadable food, spreadable beef, spreadable swan, spreadable... What else do they eat? Caviar, that is already spreadable, isn't it? Everything's spreadable for people who have basically forgotten how to use their hands.
Okay, I'm going to go a bit more basic. Now, here's Harry's strengths. He has flown a helicopter.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, but
So-
lots of people have flown a helicopter.
Well, have you?
He's not a brain surgeon, is he?
Well, he's flown a helicopter.
Well, okay, I've not flown a helicopter. I don't want to fly a helicopter.
What I'm saying is that Harry could fly for Charles or William. He could fly them round the world and make them feel very special. And they could maybe bunce him a £20 tip every now and again.
So, a celebrity helicopter taxi.
Yeah. And he'd be happy that they gave him a tip and he could buy... What's the kid called?
Archie.
Yeah, Archie, they could give... There's £20 for Archie and he could get some Cheerios or something like that.
I don't think you're going to need this sort of work, really. They're still rich, aren't they?
What are they?
Yeah, they've got millions and millions of pounds, mate.
All right.
I don't think they need to earn any money. How's this the upside, anyway?
Okay, the upside, also, Robin, is that Meghan has got talents too.
Well, according to Carol Malone, she's a washed-up actress.
Which was so bitter. Why is she so bitter?
Well, they're all bitter. That's their stock in trade, bitterness.
And hate. Now, why is that? That's so not 21st century, is it?
I know, it's very Daily Express, though.
It's very 19th century. My God, it's awful. What she could do is host her own YouTube channel. A bit like us.
If we don't have a channel. Well,
We've got a channel,
but there's no videos on it.
There's loads of videos on it.
Yeah, but they're no videos, are they? They're just still images to cover up the podcast.
What, are you knocking me, man?
No, it's okay. What would she have?
Okay, here's what she'd have. So Meghan would say she'd do something which would make everyone happy and like her, and it would be like hacks to do well. First one would be how to get a £5 million house done up on the cheap, yeah?
Yeah, but how do you do that if you haven't got any money?
Well, you marry a prince.
Right, okay.
Well, I tried to marry a prince, didn't work out well. He didn't want a long-term relationship, it was very difficult.
I think the whole thing's a downside, isn't it?
Yeah, but unfortunately...
There's a worse downside.
Well, you say a downside. Now, who do you think was the greatest heavyweight champion in the world?
Mike Tyson.
No.
Well, I think he was. You just said, who do you think?
Okay, that's fair enough. I think either Muhammad Ali or Joe Louis. How did Joe Louis end? He ended up as a greeter in Las Vegas. Now, Harry had a big time in Las Vegas. You not remember?
Yeah, I remember the photos and all that, yeah.
Well, I didn't look at them. You may have done, but I didn't look at them. But that's your thing. Apparently, Harry was butt naked in Las Vegas. Now, I'm thinking that Harry could go back to the MGM Grand in his budgie smugglers and meet and greet people and say, welcome to where I had a fantastic time a long time ago before I was desperately unhappy.
He might be better off going to British Legions or something like that. But not not in his underpants.
Yes. No, in one of his special army suits.
Yeah. Special army suits.
Where he could pose as someone and get a picture and autograph for $5.
Do you think there's going to be a need for a sort of government website or something to advise people who are upset about all this?
Whoa.
Because they had that good one about Brexit, didn't they? I know
they've
managed to, all these clever journalists have coined the term Megxit. Government Megxit advice. Maybe it should be a Megxit advice website for Harry and Meghan.
Jesus, Robin, why don't we do a Megxit site for the British government?
British government, they're not going to be interested in what we've got to say, Sean.
You don't know.
But it could have advice for the actual Megxiters. Because they're not going to know what to do, are they?
No, they won't.
They're going to have to open the front door, aren't they, themselves? That's tricky, that. I mean, I have trouble opening the front door quite often at night, and I've been doing it for over 40 years.
Worse than that, Robin.
Do you never have trouble opening the front door? And we're experienced front door with their own key openers, yeah?
We are. But the trouble is, Robin...
They've never done it in their life, and now they're going to have to do it every night.
Whoa, this is going to be tough. Where does this lead us?
Well, how do they know how to get around? Do they know how to buy an Oyster card? Contactless payment at the barriers?
Shit, what about, do you buy your groceries online or go and get them in a shop?
There's no way they buy anything.
Tell you what, mate, what's that thing down, is it Lidl, where you get that Thursday thing?
That's Aldi.
Okay, so, yeah, I'm too posh for it, because I only shop in Waitrose. So, Harry and Meghan, they're out on a Thursday night and they think, oh, we've got nothing in. Let's go and buy a speedboat.
Well, you won't get that in the middle aisle at Aldi, mate.
What you
can get a big Yamaha keyboard. They probably don't even know the difference.
Can you imagine if Harry and Meghan bought a big Yamaha keyboard?
That's why they need to keep the special advisors, because otherwise they'd be down on the beach with a Yamaha keyboard going, why doesn't this work?
I feel sorry for them in a way, Robin. I do. I know you don't.
No, I don't. No.
They're striking out for happiness, what they think, but what they don't realise is that when their fucking Oyster card pulls up, when you get into the bus and it goes, you've not got enough money, and you put off the bus at 2:00 in the morning round Brixton, it's not a happy scene.
They're not coming to Brixton.
Well, you don't know that.
They're going to Canada, mate.
They might be coming back from Canada.
Oh, on the tube.
Well, no, they won't be doing it on the fucking 168. No, the only reason that they're coming back to Canada is that she'll get no work. Harry doesn't even know where Canada is.
Oh, I've just noticed that on this Mail Online with the story about Harry breaks cover. Have you seen what the banner ad is? That the takeover ad all round the website is for medium avocados, 60p each.
That's brilliant. I'll tell you what, the Daily Mail are genius. So we'll punt out some really shit story, but we'll get it to you in terms of let's sell avocados. And this is the whole thing about the world these days, is it doesn't mean anything about what you say, it's all about selling.
Which is exactly what Harry and Meghan are all about, selling the Sussex Royal Instagram brand.
But the poor little cunts that they are don't know how to work it. So all the people around them and working around them and feeding off them are just so much better at it than they are. I feel sorry for those poor little people.
Anyway, I think that's enough of this lot for this week and possibly many weeks in the future.
No, Robin, I think we can still come back to it because I think this thing is going to run and run and run and run.
Yeah, but it's not going to be very interesting, is it?
Hence, we won't probably do it.
No, we'll do something else.
We'll do something
next
much
time.
more interesting.
And on that positive note, I think we should say thanks very much for listening.
Thank you.
And good night.
And good night.
Bye.